Okay, the whole track is screwed down now, and that's looking all right. So now I'm gonna save me messing about now, measuring out the track and stuff like that. I can just paint the whole board. I think best bet in a nice grey, stick the track down, and then it can go wherever it wants to go. And then if I decide to buy this at a later stage, I can do. If I don't, it's got a nice grey underneath the track. So that's going to be the plan. So I'm just going to mix up some grey, what I've already got, and mix a bit of black in there, make it a bit darker, and get all a good coat of paint. And it'll seal it anyway. It'll be doubly sealed because obviously the other side of the board is sealed. So that's it. So I've gone around, took any rough bits off. There's a few little tiny screws coming through because I've had to use some bigger screws to grab it to make the length in the middle. But I can always shave them off if they get in the way. If not, they'll get covered up. So, right, that'll be the job now then. Let's give it all a paint. Okay, that's that. So we're now back to a nice clean board. Obviously there's some little bits where screws have come in from the other side, but they'll not make much difference. So now I'll be able to have a nice clean start, ready for the new track. So I've painted it all, gave it a good coat of primer. Took a while actually because it's quite a thick primer, and then obviously getting it in all the plywood. But yeah, that's it. So I'm happy with that. We'll do the job nicely. So we'll now just wait for the track to come and for this to dry. So I'll leave it a good 24 hours. Okay, I'm back up here now. This is dry. So I'm going to start laying the track, but this is the new plan. So I'm going to put the tunnel back up. I managed to take that off, and then I shall just put a bit of plastic cloth and stuff like that to make that work. So in that far corner, and then I'm going to do the opposite corner. I'm going to do my rock sculpture that was there, and then big long station along the back of the layout, and then they can come in from the cars and things like that from the other corner that's free. And then I'm going to do a farm. I've not really done a farm, so I decided to call it Amber Farm. The layout, I think that would be fitting for it, so that's going to be good. So let's get some of this track laid down. I'm still waiting for the straights to come, but we'll be able to get a clearer idea of where everything's going now. And I've tweaked it slightly with the point work, so it looks like it will run a bit smoother. So anyway, let's go to that design and get that laid. Okay, that's where we're up to. A slight difference here. I thought I had two single first radiuses. Turns out it's two second radius. So anyway, not much of a difference. I'll just go one and then straight, I think, and then straight. So I'm going on with little devices. These are a godsend, really. Having these just to pinpoint where it needs to be. So, and then obviously I won't be able to join the tracks in between there. So that runs independently, and in between there. So the middle loop runs independently. It's going to come here because, as you remember, I wanted this to be under the tunnel, then that to be out of the tunnel. So I'm just going to work out now whereabouts that needs to be. This, in fact, does join here. I'll just check on my plans. Yeah, so that needs to join there, and that'll be the end of the loop. So let me join that up and I can have a look, see where the tunnel goes then, roughly. Okay, that's going to fit. So I could double check. So we're going to have one more straight in here for the first radius, but that's fitted. So that's roughly where that's going to sit. Obviously that's going to be my mounting seam, and what I'm going to use is some plaster cloth to blend all this back in, and it'll go get a static grass or something like that. But saves me building the full structure again, because it's still solid enough. Will be once it's all stuck down in place. But that clears that fine. Got some light in there, so that clears that. And if we look through here, see that will come out of there nicely, and that clear side. There's plenty of room to get in here on both sides. So yeah, I salvaged all that from the old layout. So that's that, roughly. I think that'll look pretty good when it's done. Like I say, I didn't want that to go through the tunnel. I wanted it to look different. You can see it coming past a different landscape then, instead of everything going through one tunnel. I'll go around there. Originally I was going to have it shorter than that, but it makes sense to have a bit of length. It gives me more room for the farm and things in the middle. I think from the photos it looks like you can have a bigger farm than what I can have, but I can't really. I'm going for that farm what was in, you know, what's in the middle of the what is it, the M1, not the M1, but the you know, the motorway, Manchester area. So the train is sort of like surrounding him because they didn't want to move. But if they have the farm here, then that can provide for the goods yard over here. But like I say, it'll be a smaller affair, I think, than what I was imagining. It'll be fine. I've just had to put a little bit of a bracket in there. I couldn't get it to level up. Tried to screw it from underneath, but it weren't doing it anyway. That's pulled it up, so that's nice and level now for that. And I've sorted the other side out, so it's all nice smooth. I've gone round, moving any bumps out, so the track will lay a lot flatter. I wouldn't have been able to do any of that on the old track, so definitely the good decision was to turn it over, because I'll be able to get the track laid nicely now. But alright, let's just wait for some straights to come, and then I'll be able to finish the plan off and give it a bit of a test. This is going to be the main things to get right. I've just said I'm not going to use them plastic joiners, because to be honest they're crap. So I just need to make sure that this is lined up when I fasten it all down. That'll be the main thing. But then that allows me to have 3 independent tracks on analog, doesn't it? So it will be better. This is going to give me a nice long straight for a siding. Just going to go all the way up to here. Got to go all the way up to design the rocks. That'll be a nice long length to be able to store something up there. So happy up to now. So let's just wait for my deliveries to come, and then we'll take it from there. Right, some doubles have come, got 10 of them, so we'll see how far they'll stretch. Okay, I've got 2 circuits of track done, well, in place. So now I'm going around and tacking it all down. I've done all this. These are a godsend, like I've said. So these, put these on your track, and it keeps you nicely in line to where you want to be. I've tacked them down and left the gap, so hopefully that should be okay. So I'm now prepping all the wires to fit into the in and outs on these. So basically they go into that and that, that and that, that and that. This is a good device for stripping the wires. Good. Also good if you want to put splicing as well. there you go, that's where it fits. Just screws underneath, a couple of brackets, and then nice and easy control. Yeah, and I've got two there if you ever need them, and then they just plug in these straight under the board, and then we shall wire underneath to the track. So, straightforward and very cheap 3-way, 5-way controller. Like I say, if it's a fiver for each one, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So call it 25, 30 quid. You get a 5-way controller, and they're pretty good. So the track needs a good clean. These will go under the board. Just testing it. I ain't got a track rubber. I've ordered one. I've got no idea where my track rubber is, so I need that because it's all second-hand track. So it all needs a good clean. So there you go. We'll go around. So that's the second loop. Track sorted. Right, let's make sure that that's not touching at the right can. I can see a gap, but we'll try the point. Should just stop. Yep, that's good. So once we've got power on that one, I should be able to go through if I wanted to. Try a different loco. Wait for the drill to charge to be honest, so I can drill some. I'll just put some trains on there. That's a noisy one, so he's new. So I've not nailed this part down because I sort of matched the third radius, so now I can match all this up. But I'm going to wait until I get the straights, complete the track first. So all the first is down, all this corner's down. So I'll be happy once I've done this point work here. And then that's that. I think I'm going to snip that and solder it onto it. Let's do that. I've got to look tidier, I think, than having them. But I want to use them, and then it gives me a few spare straights. May as well use them. Okay, I've finally wired everything up. I was having a bit of stress really because I was soldering. I'm like, what's wrong with solder? Why is it not soldering? And this is the solder that I use, and for some reason I'd picked up two of these, what I've chucked in the bin, what was obviously from AliExpress or something in a kit, and yeah, they were rubbish. It just kept falling off. I'm like, have I forgot how to solder or what's going on? You can see with all bits, it just weren't sticking to the metal or anything. Anyway, after wasting far too long trying to make it solder, I had a quick look in my kit and realised I was using the wrong solder, so, and then it just stuck straight on. So anyway, so it's all wired up now. So if I want to go from one track to the other, obviously there's a put in the track. I just need to power the train at the same speed on both tracks, and there we go. It'll once everything's clean, it'll go round So we're just waiting for the straights now, but all the tracks are wired up. We've got the this one wired up. This track needs cleaning. Obviously it's not going to be as reliable as having it properly fish plate, but here we go. Anyway, that's all wired in, so we've got 3 trains able to run now. And let's put the 3rd one on. That one. That fish plate's not in properly. Oh, there we go anyway. Oh, that's not going to work. Anyway, let me have a good clean before I test all these trains. Basically, that's it. At least the wiring's done. So I've wired it to the under of the track there and there. And then I've done it in a better way really. I should have done them all like that and wired it underneath the track for there, but not happy enough. I was having a problem with this one not working and I forgot to take the chipper out, so that must have been, I don't know, different sort. It had that chip in anyway. If it focuses. Anyway, so I went in there, took that out, and now everything running as it should. The controller's all set up. So yeah, I'm happy with all that. Perfect. Boom. Good enough. Okay. Okay, that's good. Alright, I think that'll do for this update because it's going on, but basically when we come back the track will get finished off, everything should come, and then it will be track rubber time. Everything will be clean once it's all fastened down, and then it should be up and running. Oh god, but everything's going wrong at the moment. So anyway, thanks for watching.